can.
Let's get it. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the GetLivePodcast. And today, we're going to talk mythical creatures. At least a few. Yeah. Bigfoot, maybe Loch Ness Monster, maybe aliens. What you think?
Yeah, a little aliens.
All right. Well, what do you want to start off with?
Let's start with the Loch Ness.
Loch Ness Monster. Can we start off with Bigfoot?
Let's go Bigfoot.
I know the least about Bigfoot, so let's just get him out the way.
All right, let's go.
All right, what you know?
What do I know about Bigfoot?
Yeah. Other than he got big feet.
Only the basics.
Okay.
It's a giant ape creature, ape human hybrid maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's somewhere, 6 to 10 feet tall or taller.
Right.
No real evidence.
I mean, I've heard they have unconfirmed first samples, or well, not unconfirmed, but first samples from an unknown creature that they say is of the ape family, I guess. That's how they worded it. And of course, you've seen the casts of the footprints.
Yeah.
I don't know, real or fake. They look like a giant human foot. You know, anything's easily fake nowadays. I don't know. So what I know about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
1967, the Patterson-Gimlin film. That's the film that everybody knows about, where you see Bigfoot walking through a ravine, and he's walking, or she, and they turn around and look directly at the camera. And Roger Patterson, Bob Gimlin, those are the guys who took the film. I don't know much about them in general, but until the day they died, they were pretty much of the same story. That was a real Sasquatch, a real Bigfoot. But in 2005, a guy took a lie detector test on TV and said he was in the Bigfoot costume. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean...
Did he pass the test?
I don't know. It was literally just... I saw him taking the test, and I never saw the results. Yeah. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. Do you think it could be something like that out there?
There's a possibility.
Okay.
But I think it's slim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's, who knows, countless different creatures that we haven't discovered.
Right.
However, a creature that is claimed to be seen.
Right. And blurry times, pictures only.
Yeah, blurry pictures, bad videos. But
right.
To be claimed to be seen so many times, you would expect to find dead Bigfoots,
right.
Their carcass, or things they ate, their campsite,
right.
A family of Bigfoot.
Right, it would have to be.
With more if you have more than one Bigfoot.
Big feet, Bigfoots.
Bigfoots.
I don't know.
But you expect to see, them traveling in packs or something of the sort.
Right.
What do you think?
All right, so if I go off of, all right, do you know who Jane Goodall is?
Yeah.
She is probably the world leader on, is it primatology?
Probably.
But yeah, the study of primates. She believes that there could easily be a Bigfoot out there in the North American landscape. And, I mean, she is the expert on all primates.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know nothing other than the very few basics most people know. They're really strong, they're really powerful, really quick.
Yeah.
But I don't know how smart one would have to be to evade people, evade cameras. Because there's some wild stories about Bigfoot out there.
Yeah.
Like, do you know Les Stroud from Survivor Man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he does a series about people who have come across Bigfoot. And some people say Bigfoot is psychic. It has, yeah, I know, right? It's wild. And it has telepathic powers. But I'm just like, no, man. No. Just no. I mean, if you want to believe in something, cool. But don't take it to that extreme.
Yeah. You have a handful of people.
Mm-hmm.
I won't try to classify them and say they're schizophrenic. I'm not a professional to be able to diagnose people.
Right.
However,
they have schizophrenic tendencies.
Yeah, tendencies. If there's a word for semi-schizophrenic,
right.
That's them.
Yeah, I don't want to label anybody either, but it's just to the point where it's like, you're not hearing a voice of a primate, a 10-foot primate in your head. That's not happening.
No. I mean, like we have other mental illnesses we could, relate that to.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Jane Goodall, now, of course, she says she believes that Bigfoot could exist, but there is no Loch Ness Monster. What you think? Do you think there is? Well,
Okay.
we'll go ahead and use that as a segue.
Sure.
Do you think there is a Loch Ness Monster?
No.
Okay.
Could it potentially be? Sure. If it was, could it have been a dinosaur that somehow survived? And it's far-fetched.
Oh my God. But... Bro, I don't know about all that. Because I got some knowledge on Loch Ness.
That's like as far as you could ever go with Loch Ness.
Right.
Saying, it's some type of ancient dinosaur that lived.
I got some Loch Ness knowledge for you if you need it, man.
One last thing about Jane, with her conclusion or her belief in Bigfoot, is that based on evidence that she has, or is it just is it based on evidence, or is it based on just her wanting that?
Now,
or is she seeing like some missing piece of a puzzle of primates?
Now, I've only seen one interview about it, and she didn't go into detail about it. Okay. She just believes that it was possible from the interview that I saw.
Possible? Yeah. I think a lot of people are chasing myths.
Right. You got a point. So, Loch Ness Monster, brother.
Let's go.
All right. I have quite a bit of knowledge on the subject. What do you got before I go?
Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist. A lot of people are lying.
I don't think they are lying. I think it's misidentification.
Sure.
All right, misidentification story for you. All right, 1933, Inverness, Scotland. I think that's how you pronounce it. You have George Spicer and his wife, and they're on Route A82. It had just opened that year in 1933, and so they're going along, and 200 yards out, they see this gray creature crossing the road. And again, 200 yards is 600 feet. So it's quite a ways away.
Yeah.
And so he estimates that it's about 25 feet long. And he says he saw a trunk-like object at the front of it, and then a large mass following behind it. He didn't see a head. And yeah, he drew a picture of it, which I'll put up right here.
Yeah.
That way everybody else can see it. And you all see what it looks like. And that's what I think it is. Anyways, though. So, they basically say they saw the Loch Ness Monster, and it looked like a prehistoric creature. Now, how would they know how would they know it's a prehistoric creature going into the water? Well, let me break it down for you.
Sure.
1933. What movie comes out? Well, actually, a lot of movies. But what groundbreaking large primate movie comes out? King Kong, 1933. In that movie, there's a scene where there's a brontosaurus in the water, and it sticks its head out of the water and it attacks a group of men. Then it goes on land. And I think that's where a lot of people get that look of the Loch Ness Monster being like some kind of sea creature or a sea dinosaur from that movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, so back to George and his wife. They see this creature, and he basically describes the thing, the trunk, as looking like an elephant's trunk, but a little thicker. But how can you tell something is thicker at 600 feet? You can't. It's ridiculous. So, excuse me. So another thing that just happened to happen at that exact same time. So there's a circus owner named Bertram Mills, and he traveled all around the UK with the circus. At that exact same time, he was in Inverness, Scotland, and with his traveling circus. And guess what he had in the circus? Elephants. Now, I'm not the first person to come up with this theory. Many people have come up with this theory over the years. But if it looks like an elephant, it's probably an elephant. It's not a dinosaur. And he just saw the top half and the road curved down. Because he said it was only like 4 feet tall. I'm like, nah. 25 feet long, 4 feet tall? No. More like it's an elephant at the end of the road and the road curves down and he just sees part of the elephant going along. And Bertram Mills was known for having his elephants play in the water. It was a spectacle. So it's like, oh my God, what's that in the water? Oh, it's just an elephant. But people are thinking, again, they just saw King Kong, some people. And it's like, that kind of looks like what I saw in King Kong in the water. But, oh my God, another big piece of misinformation. 1934, a guy named Wilson takes what is known as the surgeon's photograph. and I'll put it up.
Yeah.
So the surgeon's photograph is basically the go-to photograph of the Loch Ness Monster that everybody knows about, right? And so, you know what? Before I finish his story, let me pick up another story. A big game hunter and actor named Marmaduke Weatherall. He was hired by the Daily Mail to find evidence of the Loch Ness Monster, right? He's a successful hunter, so they're like, hey, maybe he can do the job. So randomly, he finds Loch Ness Monster footprints, right? And it turns out that they were made from either an ashtray or an umbrella stand that had a hippopotamus foot on it. So, of course, he's shamed. Now, back to Wilson and the surgeon's photo. Wilson takes this picture, and it goes what will be called today viral. But yeah, it goes, global at the time. And it's in every newspaper. Oh my God, they found the monster. And actually, Mills, if I remember right, it put out a 20,000 pound reward for the monster to be captured. So anyways, back to Wilson in this photograph. Of course, the photograph makes him famous. But guess what? Photograph's fake. 1993, Christian Sperling was Marmaduke Weatherall's son-in-law. And he admits that him and I think one of his friends had made that fake Loch Ness Monster out of a toy submarine. And Weatherall, the guy who was basically shamed for faking the footprints, had put Wilson up to it to take the picture because since he was a surgeon, he was not a surgeon, by the way, but since he was a surgeon, people believe that he had some extra kind of credit behind his name. But no, it was all a fake. The picture itself is a fake, and the picture's still used, but it's still a fake.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at a zoomed out version of the picture, which I'll go ahead and put up, it just looks like a little duck floating in the water. Yeah, but they cropped the picture to make it look bigger. So everything around the Loch Ness Monster is kind of shady. Like even in the 70s, there was a underwater photo taken, and it looked like a Loch Ness Monster, or a plesiosaurus actually. Looked like a plesiosaurus flipper, but they edited the photo to make it look like a flipper. Yep, they put cameras underwater hoping that they'd get a picture of the Loch Ness Monster. And so they got a picture of something, and they painted and edited the picture.
Wow.
Yeah. Everything about the Loch Ness Monster sounds shady.
Yeah, it makes sense though. I mean, it makes sense.
Right. And actually, there were a couple expeditions to look for it. It was a time, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s, they took maybe 25 boats and went across the entire loch and went down the entire loch with sonar looking for the monster. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple unconfirmed hits, but there was no definitive evidence. Then in 2018, scientists collected DNA from the loch, and most of the DNA they found was identifiable. Actually, all of it was identifiable. Most of it was eel DNA. Mm-hmm. So they believe that it could be a giant eel people were seeing, but no evidence of anything other. Yeah, so that's kind of like, I don't know. It kind of crushes that whole, there might be a Loch Ness Monster. Yeah. Plus, if you think about it, ever since cell phones came out, have you seen a Loch Ness Monster picture? No. Have you seen a video?
Not one.
Nope. It ain't a thing.
Yeah.
And I hate it because I'd love for it to be real. Oops. I'd love for it to be real. But it's just,
it's not.
It's not. At least I don't believe so.
No.
I'd love to see evidence contradictory of that, though. But just from everything that you hear, not so much.
No, isn't there like a version of the Loch Ness in England?
No, in Canada.
Canada.
I believe it's Canada. Lake Champlain. Let me look it up here. Actually, let me see where that's at for sure before I say it's in Canada. Give me 1 second, brother. But yeah, they call that Champ. Or they call their lake monster Champ. Lake Champlain. Oh, it's America. My bad. Not Canada.
Really?
Yep. And I think the one in Canada is called Ogopogo.
Okay.
Yeah, weird name, but yeah. But yeah, so that's, lake monsters in a nutshell. And no proof, really. No clear evidence. But, my man George Tsoukalos.
You said who?
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah.
Aliens. Let's switch to aliens, man. Because
Right.
There's a lot more on aliens than Bigfoot and Loch Ness combined.
Yeah. Where do we start?
Do you think there is intelligent? No, better yet, before I go there, do you think there are alien life forms in general?
Yes. I think that has to be close to 100%.
I would say so.
It's like the universe, the observable universe is too large. There's too many planets, asteroids.
Right.
It's too much potential for just basic life forms.
Right.
However, intelligent life forms, that's different.
Now, before we get to that, let's talk the crazy stuff.
Let's go.
You know, the whole Area 51, the Greys, the conspiracies, the government cover up, all that stuff. All right. Do you think aliens are visiting this planet and the government is hiding it?
I would say no. I think that's a little too far-fetched. It's too much. It's like for that to happen, it would take our best technology and at least 3 other miracles to happen for us to get to that point.
I mean,
for it to happen.
It would mean everybody with legitimate proof would have to have kept it a secret.
Yeah. And
then outside of that, why would aliens just go to the government?
They wouldn't.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so at all.
So you can take Area 51. A lot of people believe there's aliens were being kept there.
Right.
But Area 51 was all based on our spy missions on Russia.
Right, the U-2 and stuff like that.
U-2, the A-12, the SR-71.
Yeah, the Blackbird.
Yeah. So even the B-2 and all the other, I believe it was the B-2 or B-21. I want to say B-2 bomber. Or the Nighthawk.
The Nighthawk. Hey, speaking of the Nighthawk, I saw a UFO video from the, I think, early 70s, and they said it was a video of a UFO. It was the Nighthawk. Same exact dimensions.
But if you've seen it, or just take the SR-71.
Yeah.
If you've seen that in the 60s, you would never believe.
Right.
Like, if somebody hadn't seen that plane today,
right,
they would think that could easily be aliens.
Right. And especially if it's actually moving at speed.
Yeah. I mean,
because what was its top speed? Over Mach 3?
Over Mach 3.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy fast.
Right. Let me just double check this. All right, go ahead.
But even today, the fuel for the SR-71
top secret.
It's still top secret. That's been almost 60 years.
Now, you read the book by Annie Jacobson.
Yes.
Yeah. She did an amazing job with the Area 51 book.
She did.
And didn't she also do Bob Lazar's book? Or was that no? Or did Bob Lazar write his own book?
Bob Lazar wrote his own book. Yeah.
Okay, because I know Annie Jacobson did another one too, didn't she?
Yeah, she has. Well, the Operation Paperclip.
Operation Paperclip.
She has.
Oh, explain to people what that is real quick.
So Operation Paperclip, in a short story, is after World War II, the U.S. went and recruited German scientists to come to the U.S. to finish their work, or to work for us, essentially. And I think
that's where we got the father of rocket science from.
Yeah. Warren von Braun. And even some other ones, one working at my college for 45
I said it out loud, my bad.
Yeah, so I'll say his name, Rudolph Eds.
You're not getting in trouble for that, are you?
I mean, it's public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you could wiki his name.
I'm not trying to, you're a researcher. I'm not trying to get your job taken.
I mean, we'll see. But,
oh, man.
But Rudolph Eds was, his specialty was in rocket fuels.
Okay.
But he was among the first 6 Nazis, or I'll call them German scientists, because I don't know if he was officially in the SSSA or anything like that.
Right.
But he was among the first 6 German scientists to come here. So they went to the Wright-Patterson Air Force base. And I guess he wasn't there too long, because by 1946, he was working as he was a graduate associate. A research associate for like 5 years at my lab.
Oh, wow.
Then he ended up becoming a professor from 1951 to 1996.
Gotcha. So
he was there for almost 50 years.
Wow.
I'm not going to say, like, if you're a Nazi, I mean, that's how would you put that? Like, terrible. Right? But it seems like he was just a person who got caught up in it.
Like a lot of people did.
I seen his wife wrote a memoir about him, and it seems like I don't know the person, don't know him personally, but when he was going to retire, he was going to be forced to retire when he was like 70-ish.
Okay.
All his students and the people there, they went and protested so he could stay, so he wouldn't retire.
Wow.
So he was loved by his students and people like that.
Right.
Maybe he was a bad person and he changed, or maybe he just was the person caught up. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it was just interesting to see.
It could have been a work or die type of scenario for him.
Oh, for sure. Could have been.
You know, Nazi Germany, definitely.
Yeah. But I mean, that's Operation Paperclip. 1,600 of their scientists came here.
Yeah.
A lot of other ones went to Russia.
Got it.
We didn't want Russia to get all of them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And the Cold War was growing.
Amplified, right.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for the explainer.
Nice. So back to
aliens.
I mean,
all right. We mentioned Area 51. I think you were talking about different projects that happened. I was going to mention, I mentioned Annie Jacobson, but I was also going to mention Bob Lazar, but we can give him his own, episode on if you believe what he says or not.
Yeah. I think that deserved our own episode because you can go pretty far.
Yeah, down the rabbit hole with that one. And he's kept the same story the whole time, too.
Yes.
That was incredible. And he knows the stuff, but we will talk about it later. All right, so back to aliens. The crazy stuff. Do you believe people when they say that they have been abducted?
No. I'm not. I'll say it's possible, but that's like the smallest,
right,
like percent possible. But I'm like, okay, it's possible. I don't believe it. However, I can believe in their heads,
right, that they believe
they think it really happened. I can see that, but it's too much. You have to have some type of evidence. Like, let's say you have a tool that you grab from their craft, or some type of DNA that's foreign on you, or some foreign object inside of you.
Right.
It has to be something.
Right.
How about you?
Do I believe that people have been abducted?
Yeah.
I'm on the same boat as you. I don't necessarily believe it's happened. It may have happened in people's heads, but I don't think there's enough evidence to prove that it has. I mean, there are some crazy instances out there, but nothing that I know enough about to quantify it as yes or no.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning towards no for my own personal opinion, but I can't go further than that.
It's like the moment you say like some laser beams came down and
right.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. I was just out drinking with the boys and just I don't know what happened.
A lot of factors here.
Yeah, pretty much. So let me swap this over real quick. Cool. All right, now intelligent life in the universe, getting away from the alien conspiracy, the government cover up, which really didn't touch on too much. But why would the government cover up alien? Well, no, actually. Wow. If you think about people in general, they're not ready for that.
They're not.
If anything different, people, oh, girl, I don't like you because you're different. But go ahead.
It's like, even with, just take the spy planes.
Yeah.
If, I take it this way, it was better for people to believe that those planes were from alien origins.
Right.
Than for them to know, oh, this is some secret operation.
Right.
One, you can never keep it quiet.
No, not at all.
The average person, if they learned that,
they're talking.
And now that's a national security issue.
Right.
But if you did tell the public, oh, there's advanced alien life forms out there.
Right, from 30 light years away.
Yeah, coming to Earth.
People are going to freak.
They're like, well, can we protect ourselves?
Right.
If we, chances are no.
Right.
If you can space travel, better than us.
I mean, you've seen how people acted over COVID.
Yeah.
Imagine an alien, not even an invasion, but just an alien presence showing up.
People just freak out.
Yeah. I
mean, seeing COVID, people stocking up on toilet paper.
And all.
Going nuts.
So, I'm not going to wear my mask. I'm going to stand out here and protest with my gun,
But, yeah, the likelihood of us being visited, I think, is extremely low.
Mm-hmm.
First, you have to start off. So, all right, let's go back to intelligent life. Do I think there's intelligent life out there? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think there's intelligent life close enough to visit us? No.
I mean, closest star is 4 light years, right?
I believe so. So even if you travel, and let's go ahead and skip out all the time dilation effects.
Right. From traveling at the speed of light.
Yeah, but if you travel, or let's say close to the speed of light, at least for you on the ship, it'll seem like, let's say, 4 years.
Okay.
Right? Us, that's completely different.
Right.
But you got to be able to survive 4 years in space.
Right.
Moving at the speed of light with the ability to dodge asteroids, or even just to survive 4 years with a limited supply of food. You only could carry so much.
Right. Unless they knew how to create a wormhole.
Right. And now you get into the miracles.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying it's theoretically possible.
Like I said, it takes at least 3 miracles for this to work. But it's too far. So if you had some civilization visiting us, it would either have to be within our solar system, or it'll have to be, let's say, ancient. And this is,
I was going to say, they would have to have been headed this way for a long time.
And what's more possible is if you had an ancient civilization on Earth that went to space and came back.
Right.
That's more possible than some alien life form
who just stumbles across us among trillions of planets.
It's not, And you could think the one with ancient humans going out and coming back, like that's not really possible, but it's more possible than aliens still. At least you have life forms that can manipulate the environment to at least get these resources.
Right.
So, for example, if you can have the most intelligent beings on a planet, if they don't have hands or something similar, appendages to craft some type of ships or make shapes and things like that, it's over.
Unless they're like Bigfoot and they got telekinesis.
Right, and that's the second miracle.
Yeah. I mean, unless they can move things with their minds, they'd have to have some kind of appendage.
Yeah, but I mean, all right, so we go to a planet. For a civilization to become advanced, what do you need?
A language.
Language, right. So you got to be able to, whatever
communicate.
Type of...
And then record that communication.
Exactly. So let's say some type of verbal language and or written.
Right.
Those two are a must. Otherwise, you can't pass down, let's say, the technology you build up. You can't stack upon that.
Right.
Another thing that's super basic, you need something of wood, fire, some type of carbon-based element. Right. So, so you could create fire.
Right.
Otherwise, how are you going to
extracting ores?
So, to extract ores, so let's say, you have your process. Let's take a step back. To build basic tools.
Right.
You need basic, unless you got fingers made of metal that can crush anything.
Or like you can superheat things with your magic abilities. I don't know.
Another miracle. You're gonna have to have.
That's 3.
Yeah, to have fire. To, let's say, to smelt down your ores. To create these basic tools. Eventually create more advanced tools. And
create more advanced metals.
Exactly. Or even some type of composites.
Right.
And with these composites, let's say if you make it to space. That's all good. But if you enter into another atmosphere.
Right. You don't know if yeah, go ahead.
You got extreme heating that you got to worry about.
Right.
Depending what type of, let's hope you don't go to, let's say, Saturn's planet.
Right.
Not planet, but the Saturn's moon. Titan, I believe.
Oh, Jupiter's moon.
No,
or is that Saturn?
Saturn has Titan.
No, that's Europa.
Yeah, Europa with the ice.
I'll double check that.
Yeah, but Saturn moon is a Titan.
Okay.
And it has lakes of methane, if I'm correct. So if you had, let's say, a mixture of oxygen and methane gas, and you got the right atmospheric conditions, and
you are correct. It is Saturn. My bad, brother.
And you have a flame that goes out.
Whoosh.
I don't know what happens to that planet.
It won't be one.
Nah.
It won't be one.
So you obviously will have to have some type of chemistry knowledge. You have to have heat transfer knowledge.
Right.
It's a lot that goes into it. We think, maybe they got these materials, but the knowledge that you have to even apply them.
They would have had to have been doing this for a long time.
Exactly.
No more trial and error. Like, they have to do this.
Yeah, and think, all right, so test this. There's 3 main ways to test, let's say, a hypersonic vehicle, a space rocket. 1 is test in the air, do some type of air testing.
Right.
So you have to have instrumentations and all this stuff to document it.
Right.
2, your ground testing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have like wind tunnels and
right.
hypersonic wind tunnels, shock tubes, such and such.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is simulations.
Right.
So you have some type of computing system.
Right.
So let's say you're running the CFD, computational fluid dynamics, or that'd be the important one when you're looking at aerodynamics, or something that you're looking at loads and stresses and stuff like that. You have to have
everything has to come together.
Yeah,
perfect.
It takes a lot.
Yeah,
it takes a lot, and a lot of times we just look at the surface and say, "Oh, they got some rare metal that could do this." Why, if it's so rare and it's so highly heat resistant, don't you think that won't be easily? It's not guaranteed that it's like malleable,
right?
Or maybe brittle ceramics, like great for, let's say you want to make turbine blades that can withstand high temperatures. It's great. However, it's brittle.
If it hits something, yeah,
exactly. It's not good,
right?
So, I don't know. What else do you think? So, if you got this ancient civilization, what are some other things you think that you would need?
As far as
to get to the point of not just intelligent life, but to be able to apply it,
and then to travel throughout the universe.
Exactly.
Oh my God, you would need hundreds of thousands of years of technological advance. Well, maybe not hundreds, but tens of thousands of years of technological advance. And I mean, like, not just like how we've gone from the Stone Age to now, but like from now until like the next 5,000 years of advanced technology, because it's not something that's going to happen overnight.
No. And then you got to worry about, with food.
Right.
You got to have some type of agriculture or some type of, assuming you're not getting getting energy from the sun
right.
for consumption. But.
I was going to say, right, if you think about us, right, think about us, 2000, what's going on? 2000 BC, we're building pyramids and such. And then from 2000 BC to now, so 4,000 years, we're just now trying to get to Mars.
Yeah.
Over 4,000 years of technological advancement, even though a lot of that advancement's come within the last 200 years, more than anything else, maybe 250.
Mm-hmm.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah. And really, I guess, if I'm correct, written, so you had hieroglyphs.
Right.
But I believe the first written language, as far as like being written down in some type of characters.
Yeah.
Started in Egypt.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. That was huge. Because before, you had hieroglyphs, only like what the priests and high up people could actually read them.
Right.
But then you got this language that, anybody could read this now. Changed everything.
That's true.
Instantly. Another thing. So let's say you got a civilization. Protection from the elements.
That's true.
Are there preys out there that's looking, or predators looking to attack you? Can you survive it? Do you get wiped out?
Right.
Yes.
And it would take all of this just to be, or for an alien civilization just to get to the point of where we are.
Yeah.
Because that's how we got here.
Yeah, I don't think you could really skip the process and go from, all that foundation stuff to just to the top.
So, question: do you think humans are the most technologically advanced civilization in the universe? Because somebody does have to be the first.
Yeah, I would say maybe not, but I'm leaning towards we might be. It's really a hard question. Within, let's say, an area that we can ever get to, we probably are. I think if you have an advanced civilization, what do you expect to see?
I wouldn't even know. I mean,
just from the outside, the planet part, you probably have some forms of pollution.
Right.
It'd be kind of hard to imagine. You got these processes to develop X, Y, and Z
without
to get to space.
Right.
That you don't have, let's say, pollution.
Unless they've evolved to a point where they don't produce as much as us.
That is possible. That is possible.
But it's all theory.
Yeah.
We kind of got off track, though.
Yeah, we're still with the aliens, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. But I'm going to stick with we're probably the most advanced. Not guaranteed. The problem is there could be a more advanced civilization or alien species, 100 billion light years away.
Right.
Over we're only like 13.8 billion years old, but that's another thing. But it could be, nearly 100 billion light years out. And it wouldn't matter because we could never interact.
We'd never get there. We'd never interact.
And there's such a bigger issue. It's like the time issue. It's like super confusing. But it's...
You mean time dilation when you travel at the speed of light?
Not even just that.
Okay.
It's a book called The Order of Time.
Okay.
If you read it, it'll confuse you.
I don't like being confused.
Yeah, we won't even go there because that's a real complicated subject.
Gotcha.
Get into that, but I don't know, man. I don't think there's. I think there are advanced species. I don't think there's any that can travel through space like us.
Okay.
It's possible, but probably not likely. And if it happened, it's probably so far away that we could never interact.
I got you.
However, let's say if there was an alien civilization that could get here, where would it be at? The most plausible.
Here on Earth?
That could get here. Sure.
Oh, that could get here?
That could
Wait,
get here.
Ask the question again?
So, let's say there's aliens visiting Earth. Where's the most realistic place it could be coming from?
Somewhere in our solar system.
Sure.
My guess would be somewhere like Titan or Europa. Because we're pretty sure there's nothing on the moon. We're pretty sure there's nothing on Mars.
Yeah, probably not.
But possibly one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn. And that would only be life like us, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think on that question? Because you probably have a better answer than me.
No, it's about the same.
Okay.
I mean, it certainly will have to be within our solar system.
Right.
Anywhere else would just be too far. I mean, unless you're on an asteroid.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But yeah. Yeah, I think you're right on that. It has to be one of the moons.
Right.
It wouldn't be Venus. It wouldn't be Pluto for sure.
No, it's not a planet no more.
No, they got rid of it.
But all right, question for you. I'm gonna bring it back down to Earth surface. People who see UFOs, do you think they realize that chances are they're not really like they're UFOs to them, but somebody knows what it is? Like it's not necessarily an alien.
I think for some people they don't think, hey, this could be military, this could
right.
be Russian, this could be some Chinese aircraft,
right?
It could be some secret, government classified aircraft out there.
Because if I can, one thing that really gets me is when people say, "Oh my God, look at that! I don't know what it is. It has to be an alien UFO." Like, how do they just jump to that when it's like, I don't know what it is, which means somebody knows what it is.
Right.
I just don't know.
You say it could be a balloon, it could
right.
be a bird, it could be just a
could be a plane.
Right. It could be
right.
somebody in a glider.
Right. I don't know why they jump to that.
I don't know. I think part of it is people just want to believe it.
You mean like how people want to believe they're going to see the end of the world or civilization?
Yeah.
They want that excitement factor. That makes sense.
Sure.
Now, what do you think about people who believe in USOs? What is it? Unidentified submerged objects?
Something like that. Submerging objects.
Like they say they'll see a UFO go into the water and then disappear.
That seems like that'd be great military technology.
It would be. It would be.
And I'm not sure if there's ever been any actual evidence.
I've never seen a video.
I think some of the closest to maybe something like that, you had claims from I believe it was an Air Force pilot.
Okay.
And
it was
the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was like
supposed to be like moving in a bunch of different directions.
Yeah, like moving in ways that no current aircraft, to their knowledge, can move.
Yeah, and now you get to like the idea of potential gravitational propulsion systems.
That's
third variable for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, my first thought is always classified.
Right.
Only because since, I don't know, going past the 50s.
Right.
Maybe even the late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe before that, no. I mean, if you go to Germany, I'm sure the Horton
229?
229.
I guarantee that was.
Yeah, and that was
actually,
you've seen that back then.
I'm going to put a picture of it up for people to see.
But you might have to like they have like the Nazi symbol, so you might have to blur that out or something.
Nah, it's good. It was a Nazi vehicle, but this looks super futuristic. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. Will I get in trouble for that? Nah, I won't get in trouble for that.
I don't know.
I'll see if I can do something about it.
You might find one without it on there. Because I remember I put a picture up. So I was in a group on Facebook.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of people, they're aerospace.
Don't tell me you got in trouble for it.
Dude, I put the picture and everybody's like, wow, this is.
What was it a picture of?
It was the Horton.
Okay, with the Nazi symbol.
Exactly. But because
it violated standards.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, man, this aircraft here is so impressive. However, because it had that symbol on it.
Hey, Facebook got me too.
I was like, damn. Yeah.
Hold on. I was talking to my friend Olivia, and I forgot I had said something like, I'm going to kick your butt, or I'm going to throw a rock at you. Yeah. I was joking and I said I was going to throw a rock at her because, she was going back and forth with me. And it was in the comment section. And Facebook hit me with a warning for violating community standards. I can still see the warning on my Facebook. It's stupid.
It is.
But yeah, back to the Horton 229. Something like that looks like it's something from the 60s, honestly. A flying wing?
Nah, man. That looks like something from, when you see it.
Actually, probably the 70s.
I'm thinking more. Because, all right, so for example, most people didn't know about the B-2 or the B-21 until far later. People didn't know about drones until, I think, the war in Iraq.
Probably.
Yeah, most people never heard of them.
Right.
But drones
at that point.
Drones have been out for a very, very long time. The SR-71 or the A-12 had a version that was a drone.
Now, what was the fastest unmanned plane? What was that?
The fastest?
I know they called it the Aurora, but what was the official name? Was it the X-15?
No, the X-15 is the fastest plane, or it's a rocket plane that a human has been in, and that got up to.
That was the fastest manned, right?
Yeah, manned plane.
Was it Mach 10 or no?
That was like 6.7.
I'm way over. My bad.
But you're right about. Well, you're close. I think it's the X-43.
Okay. Yeah, Mach 6.7. You are good.
Now check out the X-43.
Okay. Because I know there was one of them that was unmanned.
Now I believe this was the fastest.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm thinking of.
Mach point, what was
9.6.
9.6.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Unmanned.
However, there was a test. I think it's officially been put out. I don't know yet. I was told by a high up guy.
Okay.
But they had like a big breakthrough with scramjet technology.
Okay.
Where I don't know how fast it got up to. But I guess so. Typically, most of these runs are really, really short.
Right.
But supposedly this one was much longer.
And they got to actually wind it out.
Yeah, and I can tell you the name later. But
okay.
But yeah, it was I guess a big breakthrough because
right on.
Like anything related to like hypersonics for us, every maybe 20 years or so, we start off. All right, we got a lot of interest in it. Let's do the space plane.
Right.
Then it dies off. And then it comes back about 20 years later, dies off again.
Gotcha.
Well, we're back at that point where
they're getting interested again.
But I think the main reason now is not because it's because we have to.
Because Russia and China have hypersonics.
They have surpassed us.
Right.
They have. And now we're like, we got to play catch up.
Right.
Problem is a lot of our hypersonic facilities, most people don't know how to run them. There's no... there's not that many hypersonic wind tunnels in the U.S.
Okay.
To do a lot of like testing and everything, things like that. I think Purdue is working on a hypersonic wind tunnel now.
Okay.
But jump back to aliens.
Oh yeah, we do this all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Question, alien related. When or if we were to be contacted by aliens and it was public, what do you think people's biggest fears would be?
Okay, some people might be they're going to take our jobs.
Yeah, right.
But the more serious issue, why are they here?
Right.
And that's the important one. So, for example, if we have, let's say, they use nuclear energy sources,
right,
or some type of uranium, plutonium, thorium, something like that.
Thanks to Chernobyl, the world's scared of it.
Yeah, but man, that's like so much potential.
It is
energy there, and with anything that has great potential energy,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a chance for it to go wrong.
Right.
It's a lot of power, but it's like, are you there for? You need to get some type of energy source, or is there some type of special material, or is it?
Are you here to take us over?
Yeah.
Which that fear is only coming from humans knowing human history.
Humans know what they would do.
Exactly.
They would go and
they find an indigenous tribe
or indigenous people, them, make them work for them.
Yeah. Take their land, kill off their buffalo.
Yeah. And that's the mindset of, let's stick to Americans, because I don't know everybody else, but it happens everywhere.
Right.
But we'll say just humans. That's the mindset of a lot of humans, is that they're going to do to us what we would do to them.
Right.
Or what we have done to others. But,
our own, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's valid.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the other part is, why do we need to assume that a civilization that has the technology to come from across the, let's say, galaxy,
right,
will come here just for,
to get something?
Chances are they have a methodology that far surpasses ours.
Probably.
For example, if you take Hiroshima.
Yeah.
That bomb, I believe it was like a fraction of 1%
of Tsar bomb
mass of that. I think it was it plutonium in the first one, or?
Oh, my bad. I went completely to a bigger bomb. It wasn't a lot. No.
Yeah, but whatever material it was, only like a fraction of 1%, maybe like a tenth of 1%.
Yeah, reacted.
Converted to energy. So Einstein's equation, if you make it simple,
right,
it's just E equals mc squared.
But it gets way more complicated than that.
It's more. I mean, you could expand the terms out and stuff, but that's all that most people need to know. This is mass converted to energy for something stationary.
Right.
That's a lot of energy, pretty much any amount of mass.
Right.
So if you could convert even 80% of that mass to energy, that's a lot of energy.
That would have been
That's a lot
more dangerous, more deadly.
Oh man, if that'd be crazy.
Because how many times more powerful was our bomb than the Hiroshima bomb?
I believe over 1,000.
Yeah. I'll look it up real quick. You can go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that bomb was extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
I believe the light from it was able to be seen from
3,300 times more powerful.
Yeah. Just I think Russia had, out of the top 5 most powerful bombs, they might have had all of them, or maybe 4, but they had most of the most powerful nuclear bombs.
Right.
The crazy thing is, we set off the most,
and a lot underground.
1,023, I want to say. We're it's right over 1,000.
A lot in the Nevada test site.
Some underground.
Right.
A couple in the air.
Oh my God!
Bikini
Atoll, wasn't it?
Yep, that's another place with a testing site. You can see some of the videos, I believe, from that one. And the crazy thing is, some of the people, they knew that there was a slight chance that the atmosphere could catch on fire,
and they still did.
They still tried it. They didn't know. They wasn't sure.
Right, but it's it's possible.
Yeah,
let's do it anyway.
And when they actually set off, it was one of them. Well, I think it was with the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
A lot of the people, it was one individual who he didn't have the equipment to actually look at it, so he had to look away.
Yeah.
But as the bomb went off, well, he was able to see the skeleton and everything because he had all that radiation.
Jesus.
But on top of that, he seen their faces, and they all looked like they was in horror because he think, most of them probably was thinking, oh, the atmosphere is catching on fire because it grew bigger than it should have.
Gotcha.
Because they had the wrong amount.
Of course they did.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I think if aliens came here, I mean, the biggest fear for people in my mind is, again, they're going to try to colonize us.
Yeah,
that's my guess. But there could be positives too, though. We could learn a lot from them, probably more than they would learn from us.
Maybe we'll become more civilized.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Now, I'll say one thing: if you have an alien civilization, what's the chances that they actually have a culture, music,
I don't know.
Movies, plays,
Right.
things of that nature.
Right, things for just sheer enjoyment.
Yeah. Or are we like a specialty or a rare
don't know.
feat?
I've never thought of that. That's a good question.
Because that's one thing all human civilizations have, and some at different levels.
Some form of entertainment.
They all have a music.
Right.
They all have mythologies.
That's true.
Even in Africa, there's tons of African mythologies. You
That's
don't hear
true.
about them.
Right.
It's a lot.
That is very true. I don't know. I mean, hopefully we get to find out one day. Maybe not. Probably not. But it'd be fun to think about.
Yeah.
All right, last question, brother, then we get on out of here. Do you think aliens had a hand in building pyramids? Because according to History Channel, which ain't about history no more, like literally everything with History Channel is just aliens now. Like it used to be about actual history. Sorry, tangent. But yeah. Do you think aliens had a hand in building the pyramids or anything with ancient Egypt?
No.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that is people not wanting to believe people in Northern Africa had the capabilities of doing what most of the world couldn't.
Right.
So there have been
there's been other places. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there have been pyramids like all over.
Right.
However, I think there's people who just don't want to believe it because they don't know how they did it.
Right. So, I don't know how they did it. They couldn't have done it.
But,
pretty much mentality.
Yeah, and I think that's the wrong way to look at it. It's better to say, hey, instead of trying to put it on a miracle and say, these aliens came down. And
from a distant star.
Yeah, they cut these blocks with,
precision,
laser technology or some type of device.
Right.
I think it's better to think these people were intelligent.
Right.
They were masters of trigonometry.
Right. They were astrologers.
Their engineers
or astronomers,
was amazing. They had.
All right. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a technical difficulty. But you were saying, bro?
Yeah, but I think it's instead of looking at it as they must have had some type of help. It must have been aliens. It must have been something else. We need to look at the engineers, the architects, the workers, and say,
gotcha.
These were master engineers of the time, master architects. They didn't have the distractions that we have today.
Right.
To let's say to pull them away from the craft. I mean, it's just like most people from before the 1800s. Their main focus were their craft.
Right.
But in Egypt, there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been excavated.
That's true.
Yeah. So maybe one day we'll learn more about how it was actually built.
Right.
I mean, you have some
and figure out it wasn't aliens.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some ancient molding techniques where concrete was used or something. Maybe some cutting tech. They may have had some extremely advanced pulley systems.
Right.
These are things that hopefully one day we'll see.
This is true. But I think that'll wrap it up for this episode, bro. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. We covered a lot.
We did. A whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on for maybe a few more hours, but I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. Yeah. We got more episodes to do.
Yeah, what's the next topic?
I don't know, man. Basketball gods? What you think?
Basketball gods. Man, you got the moon landing?
We got the moon landing. Was that real?
Yeah. Atlantis.
I don't know.
It's a lot.
Atlantis. There's a lot. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
All right. But hey, thanks, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining us. And don't forget to get live. I'm Greg.
And I'm Gabriel.
All right. Take care.